Future trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Content provided in this segment is meant for educational purposes and is not a solicitation to buy or sell commodities.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk. I'm Cody. He is Andy. And with Paige in the background, we make up the Tech Talk trio coming to you live on this Tuesday, the 13th of May, 2005. Just about a little past 4 Eastern in the afternoon time, 3-year time.
I'm pretty sure you're 20 years short of the year. It's 2025.
2025, sorry.
Take me back to 2005. When like the Motorola Razr came out and all that stuff.
Probably why I was thinking of it. The good old days.
Remember that phone? That thing was great.
I do.
Flip it.
You hang up on people and you make sure they hear it. Click, snap. Bring back the Razr.
Bring it back, man.
All right.
Anyways, we have a super special episode today.
I think we got 5 requests. We have 6 total charts. Like, this is the most we've ever had.
I'm almost out of space on my Post-it note.
I'm on both sides of this bad boy.
We've got to do somewhat of a rapid fire too. So let's get rolling.
This is rapid fire. CME Block.
We're going to do this in tandem with one of our requests that came from Trucker Katie. What a great name, Trucker Katie. So CME Block. Now remember, for the June futures forward, it's just going to be the block. So barrel's going bye-bye. You pointed this out last time. I kept this here. W formation. Trucker Katie wanted to make sure that we point out too. This is this line right here. This green guy right there, that's June futures. June
Correct.
starts pricing next week. So here we are in the cash market. Here's where the June futures are. What are your thoughts?
Discrepancy.
Go.
Big discrepancy. My first thought, spot goes up to meet 190 for June.
I agree. And what's interesting is that you have the W formation playing out. We're getting closer to the end of Q2, heading into the summer. Here's another thing too we want to make sure we point out. Here's June cheese. Here's like the rest of the world.
Yeah.
All right. Roughly in that area. We just had that
60 to
GDT
70
auction last.
cents.
Yeah, I mean, GDT just printed $2.50 on a cheddar basis.
Right.
So here's,
Yep.
if you could, but kind of like, it's more like right here if you really want to average everything, right? Fine. Here's the rest of the world. Here's June cheese. Here we are. Interestingly enough, anytime we try to get any kind of weakness out of this chart, it's met with a lot of, I'd say, aggressive buying. And futures are telling us that, this should be higher. So I agree with you. You have the W playing out. You've got plenty of room to still go up on some of the secondary stuff too. Like I have this RSI up. It's not overbought yet.
Right.
It has plenty to go before it's considered overbought. So like to me, I think if we were to cross over to, I've got the 200-day. So this isn't a 200-day average. This is a 200-week average. This blue line right here. It's struggled to maintain over that once you cross that threshold. Look at it each time. It's just boop, boop. And now it's been bumping up against that. What's interesting about this one is that if you keep bumping up against a price while keeping it like horizontally, so you just keep making higher lows like this seems to do, a breakout here becomes that much more significant. So
Okay.
I agree with you. June cheese telling us that we've got some more to go. And let's go take a quick look. We're on rapid fire. So let's go take a look at June cheese. For Trucker Katie, what do you think here, boss?
Well, and to your point, cheese was steady today. Block and barrel did not trade. And June up, what are we up? Penny right now? Very interesting.
A little over a penny. Yeah, 11 cents a hundredweight equivalent.
Very interesting. I think you had made this comment to like the group yesterday of Friday. We had a big down day on Friday. Yesterday, you recovered almost. We didn't settle quite on the highs there, but you almost engulfed yesterday's candle. And then today you made another jump higher.
So we are trading. It's a good point. This June cheese contract, it's trading above the open on Friday's session. If you remember Friday's, it beat it up quite a bit. And then on Monday, here's Monday, the block was down. The cash market was down, 4 cents?
Yep.
Nearly 4 cents. And here's the reaction of the futures. Let's go rally 25 cents a hundredweight and then another, 10 today. So the futures activity is certainly pointing to, buyers and cash taking that as more of an opportunity to own it. What's so interesting about it too is that June doesn't start, June starts pricing next week.
Correct.
So it's not super far away.
Right.
But from a technical perspective, I think we got to be really mindful of, are we about to see wave 5, which wave 5 is typically the exhaustion wave. It means you're done. So you usually want to lay on, it depends on where you want this to really start to break out from. I mean, you could argue that this really didn't start to go until you got to like even here, right? And so this could be even smaller. But it, again, depends on where you have this trend starting up. But even if you want to be more conservative about it, let's just say it's just a smaller one. Just lay that on top of where it breaks out from. That's where you could prospectively go. Which, let's say we go trade 198.5. What would that take? Well, let's say, you think about like NAS premiums, right? 4 to 5 cents. Let's say we go trade CME Block at 183, 184. And then the futures seem to want to maintain a pretty healthy premium. This isn't outside of the realm of possibility for trade.
The back half, the rest of the curve is already up there, darn near.
Correct. Yeah. So it's just super interesting that here's the session in response to lower cash and then unchanged cash that's already well discounted. And in all fairness, the block was offered at 180 today and didn't get bought. So the response out of the futures market here today is to continue to move higher despite an offer in the cash market. I think that's telling of what's to come.
Agreed.
We shall see. Trucker Katie.
It's one of our favorite names on Tech Talk.
I love it. We're going to have her on as a guest. All right. So this one's spot butter. This one also came at request internally from Erica. I've had a couple other clients actually ask about this one as well. So what's interesting is that the futures market, this is very similar to the cheese, where the futures market is really starting to perk up out forward relative to the cash market. You look at the cash, I drew this prior to this or taping, right? This has been a clear downtrend. We've started to break out of it, but we also failed to get below all this noise. Yeah. I think those are both warning signs if you were short. Also, we got into oversold territory, not once, not twice, but thrice. If you remember your classical literature, drag them thrice around Troy. What book is that? Do you know?
I don't.
Never mind. With this whole reading thing, I got to do it.
Books.
Okay, so anyways, it's tried to be oversold a few times, and now it's climbing out of it. And there's so much room here to go. So the fact that it's been attempted to be oversold, came back out of it, and is now clearly making its way out of it. And I think, not quite, but it's bumping up against this little topper right here. If it breaks through that, you got to be super careful here. But the futures, again, it's just like cheese. The futures are telling us butter's going to be worth more than $2.35. So I just think it's super interesting. You broke out of this downtrend. You had all this noise over here. You couldn't get through that, right? And now you have some of the secondary stuff, like this momentum, for example. Let's just pull this bad boy up.
The indicators are almost warning you on a few of these charts.
Correct. These secondary indicators, like this is a warning, big warning right here. Crossing zero right here. This has been negative all year.
Yeah.
All year.
And here we go.
So if this were to cross into positive territory, that would be a huge warning sign for this. And it looks like it's going to go do that. It's quickly approaching it. So yeah, I'd be very mindful. And let's just do this real fast too. So let's say we do start to get a little poparoo. 260. I mean, that's a number you got to be really careful about. That's where I think I think we're due for something like that. We'll poparoo, take us to 260.
So back to the highs of
it's got the makings for it
this year.
Yeah, I mean it's got the makings for it, right? Broke out of the big downtrend, consolidating. Now you can't get through all this noise right here. It's clearly getting away from being oversold and about to be positive potentially on a week-to-week basis from a momentum for the first time all year. This has just got, I think, retracement written all over it.
Agreed. Can't disagree
with that.
A bull
between two bears. A bull between two bears. I love that episode name. All right, rapid fire. Let's keep going. Thank you, Erica, for the request. Keep them coming, please.
Shout out.
This one came from Wisco Phil.
Wisco Phil. He doubled up this time.
US dollar.
Important chart here. A lot of people, they've been talking about this one outside of the realm of dairy. Big export mover here.
Who's they, by the way? Is it like the editorial we?
The editorial we, man.
Also, what movie is that from?
Big Lebowski.
Okay, so the royal we has been talking about the US dollar for a while now. Yeah, super interesting though. Like, this is, again, a weekly. You had this bounce here. You had it here. Try to get through it again. Failed to do it. Like, this looks like a bear trap right here. What do you think?
Yeah. Put in some lows. I guess I'm looking at it as a daily real quick. And you engulfed yesterday's candle, not quite to the T, but it's still not looking very bullish right now.
I don't know. I may have to agree to disagree on this one.
Okay.
This one, I think it's a little bit of a trap. Obviously, we've talked a lot about, like, we looked at cheese and its ability to move higher. Can it continue to do so at like the pace we've been exporting at? Should the US dollar move back into like this upper end of the range? That's certainly a big warning sign for our ability to export, right? Isn't it? Inverted related, inverted.
Exactly.
Up, down, one goes up, one goes down. We'll see. I mean, like, I think this could be a prospective bear trap, but there's so much like geopolitical stuff going on with that too.
Yeah.
You could be one tweet away from the dollar retracing lower again. We'll see. I don't know. But if you're just looking at it
One tweet
technically,
away.
I think you got to be super careful of this being a potential bear trap. It was here. It did it. It tried again here, failed. Just seems like anytime you get to 100, this market doesn't sit still. It just does not consolidate around 100. It just rips away from that price.
Agreed.
Conversely, though, if we were to start to trade like 95, that could be a real warning sign for this one too, to really fall apart. So how this acts around $1, I think will tell you the next like 5, call it basis points. If I'm saying that right.
Which could have
I
an
think it's
impact
up.
on
I think
butter
it's
and
up.
cheese like we were just talking about.
For sure. And I think that's going to be up for now. So we shall see.
There you go.
We'll see. You're thinking it's
There you go.
down. You're thinking it's going down? Is that right?
I do. I think the dollar is going to break.
All right. So this one also came at response from Wisco Phil. Crude oil. Look at that
Look
W.
at that W.
It's not a true W. I'd love to see this be a higher low. Right? I'd love to see this price action happen above this one, but I'll take what I can get. This looks like a great W, and this looks like it wants to extend itself back up to the 70.
You do a lot of hunting.
Do I do a lot of hunting?
You're doing a pretty good job of shooting down all my ideas today. Just saying. Anyway.
You know, that was really well executed, by the way. What's your idea? Hit us with your idea.
I think it's a little bit of a W formation here, going back maybe to 72 a barrel.
I just said it was going to 70. That's not shooting a hole in your idea.
Okay, well, I said W, and you said maybe not so much. That's the first thing I heard, and I got all
didn't
offensive.
say that. No.
Apologize.
I said I would have liked to have seen it being this price action being above here.
I see what you're
High
saying.
or low.
I see what you're saying.
But I'll take what I can get. Shooting down. This is a clear W. What are you talking about? All right. Anyways.
Needless to say, we're both bullish on the crude.
I would agree.
On the dinosaur bones.
Correct. So dinosaur bones look good. The momentum crossed positive for the first time in a while, right? But also what's interesting too is that you have this failure to get oversold and you have all this room to go. And also what's interesting about especially some of these larger macroeconomic markets, look at how quickly the market ripped through that price or that area. A lot of times when you get back into those types of like, big movement areas, you go just as quickly through it, right? I wouldn't be surprised if you had this type of price action to the other way. Maybe not to this degree, but get like a couple candles like this one, 3 or 4 of them in a row, and you've just retraced all this.
Okay.
So we'll see. But this looks good. It's got all the hallmark of like, let's just go take this back to this former high where we broke down from. All right, last but not least, rapid fire.
Our good friend J-Bar coming back.
Taking us home with J-Barf. I mean,
well, let me ask you what everyone has asked me for the past 3 weeks. Where do you step into cell feeders? Same response I have.
I don't know what to say to that because any attempt to try to sell this market has just been brutal.
Yes.
So when we had that open on yesterday morning, excuse me, and you had that news from the USDA.
Yep.
I was wondering if this was going to be it. If we were going to have like an island reversal where you have like the gap, it has kind of like a hammer almost, and then you open lower the next day, and you just have this like kind of like unfinished business gap. And look it up, island reversal. They're usually a great indication of a trend changing hands. But today's price action in response to yesterday's session is I don't see any reason to sell it.
It's not bearish.
No, you open. I mean, look at this. This is all-time record high, right here, and that's the best the bears can do. After all this, and not just that, but after all this, that's the best they can do is to just retrace a little bit of that. So the weekly could prove, let's say we really start to fall apart, the weekly could prove to be an island reversal. And if that is the case, then you probably should be looking at getting short. So the daily, not so much. You kind of miss that opportunity on a daily basis, but on a weekly, let's say, again, look up island reversal. It's certainly possible. if you kind of close on like towards the lows of the week, so have kind of like an inverted hammer, and then open the next week lower than that, that would be a big indicator of like, yikes. Especially if you can open, what is this? So this one's high for the week is 298.5. If you could open next week at 298.5 and basically leave that gap there, that would be I think it would be time to sell.
Time to sell. Okay.
If you can't,
that's good. I mean, if you look at the daily, we hit 295 twice, and what's the old expression? There's no such thing as a triple top.
Heard that
and then
before.
We blew through that, and everyone's like, okay.
Heard, chef.
You sell at 300? Well, I mean, okay, we get through 300, and here we are.
Right. I think you have to be like, to me, you need like a major reversal pattern. An island reversal would, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, this could be it. Like you could see an island reversal here. And if that was to happen, and I don't doubt that there wouldn't be a significant amount of folks that would want to pile into the short side here. I feel like people have just been chomping at the bit to find a way to sell what is all-time record highs. But you need something like that. You need some major reversal pattern to take place that people can feel confident about, because there's been so much just, attempts to sell it. Look at this. Look at that.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So
just
yikes. With you looking at the weekly, just to kind of hammer home your island reversal, we would want to wait till Monday morning for an open to see if we truly fall lower on that open.
You want to see us close. Yeah, close this week closer to like this week's open, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what price would that be? 301. You'd want to close closer to that 301. So it just kind of has this like flat body and like a large wick on top, and then open the next week around 298. So you gap up and then you gap back down.
Okay.
If you were to do that, I think would be a huge indicator that this market's getting ready to roll over, or at least retrace some significant portion. And again, like with what feels like folks looking to chop at the bit to sell this market, I think you get a lot of people that just like pile on, and you'd get some pretty aggressive price action. So with that, good luck on that one.
Yeah.
I'll leave that to you. But that's all we got. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 charts today, rapid fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them came at request. One of them was the block that didn't come at request. We've had a lot of people asking about it though, internally. So I'm going to say everything came at request.
We appreciate everyone contacting us. 6 charts. That is a personal record for you and I on Tech Talk.
Rapid fire.
We're actually going to be gone next week. Some of us are away on vacation, so we will be not making a show next week, but we will be back the following week to check on a few of these charts. If anyone has any requests at that time, please get a hold of Andy or I, and we would be happy to look at them. Until then, have a great week, an even better weekend, and we'll see you towards the end of May.
See you at the end of May.
Big hugs, little kisses.